So actually, what do you think though precipitated the firing? Just that he had one bad season? Well, I mean, all this other is lead up and background to it, but has Arkansas suffered from this? Have they get any negative publicity? I know there was a suit by Nolan Richardson against the university. Apparently that suit was thrown out of court, or he lost that suit.
He lost the suit and the appeals, but the judge really wrote a lot of things about the backwards management style and the racist system. You know, they had a board of trustees that admitted in court to telling each other jokes with the N-word. I won't say it on the air, but if you can imagine a university board of trustees, a couple of guys telling jokes like that, and so there was a long history. Part of it was Richardson's refusal to be anything but political. He was involved in the Black Coaches Association. And he was always sort of at one point he was in the year he won the national championship, they were close to having the team walk off in the midst of the Final Four in order to illustrate points of contention with the Black Coaches Association. So he'd been involved in, over the years the NCAA has slowly taken away scholarships from basketball teams. They're now down to 13 scholarships per team. Well, that winds up nearly always being inner city black kids who get cut out of the picture. Then it's 300 Division I schools and 2 scholarships. It's 600 kids that are not getting scholarships that were 20 years ago, and so he refused to shut his mouth. And part of it's one thing to be outspoken when you're winning, but he continued to be outspoken when the year his team wasn't doing very well.
How is he holding up? How's he whatever attention he got around it? Is he excited about this book that you're writing about him? And tell us who the publisher is, because you did actually. I mean, this is going to be a big-time sports book.
Well, it is. It's Amistad, which is the African American division of HarperCollins. But I think it's been really good for him lately because for the first time in about 2 weeks, he'll be going back onto the Arkansas campus. But what's interesting about him, Michael, is that he was getting paid big money for 6 years not to coach. And I think it's one of the perceptions that white people, in my experience, that white people have of Nolan Richardson is he's making $500,000 a year not to coach. What's he complaining about?
He'd like to coach.
Well, but that's I think it's what his perception is I'm not going to change no matter how much you pay me. And I think it's one of the things that makes a Tiger Woods or a Michael Jordan more palatable to mainstream American society is they're willing to not talk about hot button issues because they're being paid so much. In fact, they avoid speaking about hot button issues where Nolan Richardson has always been willing to speak up. And I think that irritates people. Like, why is the guy who's making $1 million a year complaining about racism?